Hey, welcome back to Dunwoody Mechanical Engineering for the Electrical and Controls class. Practicing Karnaugh maps today. So in the last video I did this map here for problem 1. This next video down, or this next one, I'm going to do problem 2 here. So it's still a 3 input. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start out on this other space here. So I'm going to have just my A input, and then on the top row I'm going to have B, C. Again, I still didn't learn from my mistake the last time where I made the rows here really long. So I'm going to have 0 and 1 for my A inputs. And then BC, I'm going to have 2-digit numbers here. So I'm going to have 0, 0, 0, 1. We skip 1, 0, so I'm going to have 1, 1. And then go back and do 1, 0 here. And that's what we've got. So now I just transcribe this, working with A is 0, B is 0, C is 0, and I put that value in this box. A is 0, B is 0, C is 0. I get 0. Then 0, 0, 1. Then I get 0, 0, 1. That's a 1. Then I skip row 3. I get down to this row 4. What do I have there? I have 0, 1, 1, and that's a value of 1. And then I go back to row 3. I get 0, 1, 0, 0 is 0. And then second half of the table, I have 1s for A's. So my first one is 0, 0 is 0. Then I have 1, 0, 1 is 1. 1, 1, 1. Skip row 3 again. I have 1. And then row 3, or row 7, excuse me, is 1, 1, 0, and that is row 1. So again, I can look at this and I can simplify this. I can group different things together. What do I have here? I've got this group here. I want to keep as many as I can together, so I get a group of 4. So that's a group of 2 to the 2. And then I have this other one here. I think they can circle that in a group of 2 to the 0, or I can extend that over and get this one here. Now get me a group of 2 to the 1, right? Usually I'll end up with a more simplified expression if I can get another member in that group. In this case, what does that do for me? That throws out C, so that helps me out a little bit. So I'm going to take this bigger group here, the 2 to the second group. What's changing in this group? Well, I go from the top row to the bottom row, and A changes in that change. So I don't need A in my expression. And then also looking at the top row, as I move from the second column to the third column, B is changing. It's going from 0 to 1. So I don't have B in that. So the only thing that's constant in these 4 is C, which is a 1, a value of 1. So I have a value of C for that expression. Then for this other one, this group of 2 to the first, I have at the bottom, A is constant, so it doesn't span up into the second group here. So I need A in that group. And then C is changing. It goes from 1 to 0. So I need to have this other value here. What is that going to be? B, right? So if I expand that out, what do I see? No pun intended. So I'm going to add these two together. So that's my expression. So I have A, B plus C. So I don't have any knots hanging out here. All of these are just positives. So it's A and B or C. And what would that be? No pun intended there with B. So if I fill that out, A and B for 0, 0 or C, I'm going to get 0 here. So I'm just going to borrow the truth table I had before. Oh, my pen is going to disappear on me. A or B, A and B is 0, or C is 1, so that's going to be 1. A and B, 0 and 1 is 0, or 0 is 0, so it's matching up so far. A and B, 0, or C is 1. A and B makes 0, or C is 0. Gotta make it right a little smaller. A and B is 0, or C is 1, so that's 1. A and B is 1, C is 0, so that's 1. That's my little change there. Then A and B is 1, or C is 1, that's also 1. So it exactly matches up. This A and B or C is an expression that gets me this truth table. And if I want to draw a logic diagram of that, what would I have? Well, I'd have A, B, those two will go into an AND gate, and then C will come with that added into flowing down into an OR gate. And that gets me my y. So that's my logic diagram for that expression. And again, I could have only done just this one by itself, but doing that would have meant I'd have to include another term in this. I'd have to have a, b, and c, or something else in this term here.